Hi guys, welcome to the Marketing Rizz podcast. I am your host Crispino, and for today's episode, I have a very special guest with us all the way from Zambia. With great pleasure, I would like to welcome Dr. Cynthia Kunda to the show. Dr. Cynthia works with CEOs, directors, and senior managers from all across the world, helping them build a brand on LinkedIn so they can create multiple sources of income other than their primary job. So, if you're looking to build a brand on LinkedIn and monetize your experience and skill set, then this podcast is for you. So, welcome to the show, Dr. Cynthia. It is great to have you here with us.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here.
Likewise. And thank you so much. I mean, it's almost 8 p.m. there in Zambia. So, thank you so much for joining us this late. And how is the weather out there in Zambia right now?
The weather is amazing. It's been raining, and so it's still cool and
Okay.
just amazing.
Lovely. We are just getting into summer in India, so it's starting to get a bit warm. But yeah, we're a tropical country and it is mostly raining and summer over here. So yeah, it's one of those days.
That's amazing.
So, Dr. Cynthia, I think this is the perfect time for this podcast as you've built a brand on LinkedIn. You help other professionals kind of elevate their brand presence. And we've seen the industries evolve now, especially because of AI. There are layoffs happening and so much of disruption in the market. So, I'd say depending on one job or one income stream right now is no longer a smart option. So I think this is the perfect time that you've come on to the show. So to begin with, can you start off by telling our audience a bit about yourself and your journey and how did you get into LinkedIn branding?
Right. So thank you very much. I'm an accountant by profession, by the way, a chartered accountant. And then my MBA is in business. I'm also an author. I have written a book called The Wealth Mindset, which teaches people how to move from struggling to building financial freedom without and I worked 14 years. I worked in the NGO sector, and working in the NGO sector exposed me to know having contracts. Today you have a contract. Tomorrow you don't have a job. Today you have so much money. The next day you don't have money. So during the period that I was working side by side, I studied sales and marketing. I did direct sales, and then I also studied personal branding. So I have, apart from the 20 years that I have been in finance, in business, in admin, I also have 10 years experience in sales and also 10 years experience in personal branding. And when it comes to sales, not just experience, but I was able to be, a top salesperson in the companies that I worked with. I literally did direct selling. So when using my experience, I realized as I was working in the NGO sector that there are times where I didn't have a job. And I saw a lot of people. For me, luckily, I was able to get into direct selling. But there were times where people, I would see professionals, just lose it because the next minute they didn't have a job, they went into debt. There's even a time that one of our projects was cut, and I had a colleague that really died. At that point, I said, I cannot depend on a job. And I was building on Facebook, I was building on TikTok, I was building on other platforms. But at some point, I realized that where am I going to get the leverage? Where am I going to get professionals that have the money that are ready to buy? So after a thorough research, I realized I needed to be on LinkedIn. At the points that I was, deciding to go to LinkedIn, I was just about to close a business because sales were not doing well. And so I decided to close it. And then I had a lending company, which was also not doing well. So I told myself, you know what? Let me close this business and let me concentrate on my consulting business. By the way, I have founded 4 companies. So I decided to close one business and I decided to amplify the consulting business. And when I decided to concentrate on the consulting business, I had to look for a problem that I can solve. So when I looked for a problem, I was like, okay, there are so many professionals right now that are not building their personal brands. Some of them, contracts have ended, especially with the USAID by then limping. By the way, you should know that USAID started limping in as early as 2018. For me, that was the wake-up call when one of our projects was closed. And so I based it on that problem and I created value out of it. I went to LinkedIn. In fact, I came to LinkedIn in only 2025 January. and I only
Oh,
had
wow.
2,100 followers. But I came with a strategy, came with a positioning, and 14 years, 14 months down the line, I have 21, 22 now, 22,000 followers,
Yeah.
and I have created a business in over 40 countries. Get my clients from LinkedIn full time. And now my business is all from LinkedIn. I've been able to be flown in different countries. I am coaching, I'm training, a global business, but all my clients, 100% come from LinkedIn. I've done so many amazing things. Like this year, I've been able to sign a brand partnership all from LinkedIn. I've been able to get a franchise all from LinkedIn. Wow. This franchise is from Germany or from LinkedIn. And every day in my DM, I literally get multiple opportunities for collaboration, for partnership, just because of being clear about the way I've positioned myself on LinkedIn. I think that's a bit about myself. I know it's a lot, but a bit.
That's lovely, Dr. Cynthia. I love your work. And yeah, I'm so happy for you. Just 14 months. I thought you must be building from over like 2 or 3 years because I see your LinkedIn. Not just you have 20 followers, 20,000 followers, but it's very engaged and your content is
Yes.
really nice and your followers love you. I can see that in the comments as well. So that's amazing. I'm really happy for you. And yes, that's why we have you here. So we like to understand from you how can others replicate that as well and kind of build LinkedIn as a brand, because let's be honest, now LinkedIn is no longer a social media platform. LinkedIn has now become almost a business asset or a platform where you can get clients, and you're a live example of that. So yes, I think I'm super excited for this episode. So I'd like to ask you, Dr. Cynthia, in your bio you've mentioned work optional income within 12 to 36 months. So I'd like to understand more about that. Like, how is that possible, and what gets you towards that goal?
Okay. So first of all, I told you that I have a background of finance, so I understand numbers. Yeah. So when I talk about 12 to 36 months, I have been able to actually come up with a framework that works. So listen, for you to be on LinkedIn in 1 year, you can build authority. Now, I deal with CEOs and senior professionals, most of them that have, maybe 5 years experience, 10 years experience. I prefer 15 years experience and above. But with your experience, you can be able to build authority within a year. In my classes, because I have walked that path, I'm able to make them build authority in 90 days. And in the next 90 days, they can be able to sell. So this is how you can do it. Let's say you are able to plan a 12-month cycle. The first 3 months, you build authority, meaning that first of all, you have clarity of who you are serving, and then you start posting content. Now, when you're posting content, you just don't post content. You are building clarity, you are building authority and trust. People only buy when they see the credibility, when they see the proof of what you've done. Now, something that I'll tell you is that professionals have been working, but they are not just documenting. So LinkedIn allows you to document what you can do. Now, the documentation will come from the proof of what you've been working. Let's say you've been working in sales for the last 10 years. What have you achieved? How did you solve something? What framework did you use? What results did you use? So if consistently for 3 months you are posting and showing proof with clear positioning, people will be able to trust you. After 3 months, you can be able to start selling. You can sell by having a product. So is it masterclasses? Is it consulting offers? Is it a community? Or is it a retainer that you have in the second quarter, meaning that the second quarter of the year, you can actually be able to make money. So by the time you are coming, the more you make money, the more you are selling and clients are getting results, then you use that as proof to attract more clients. So in the second quarter, you do that. By the end of the year, you would have scaled, because the more people see proof, the more people will come to you. So I say, if you don't have a coach like me, it will probably take you a year. But if you have a consultant or a coach like me, it will take you shorter. So for example, I have a brand network that is called Figure Brand, and people are able to get clients in the first 2 weeks. I actually tell them build authority in 3 months, but it's been amazing because some of my CEOs have been able to get, clients in 2 weeks, others 1 month, others 2 months. But the period that they start, showing up on LinkedIn, they are able to get clients. So imagine if you can build a real business within 1 year, just like I did, then it means that you can be able to actually retire or make work optional in 12 months to 36 months. When I came on LinkedIn, I was just closing up my business and I told myself, I'm going as if I'm starting from zero. But here I am, 14 months down the line. I have a community with people from 40 countries, clients from 40 countries, and it is global. And like you have rightly said, if you look at my DM every day is full. I wake up and I find 100 DMs of people wanting to partner with me in different areas. So this just shows you that it is working. It is real because I haven't even been on LinkedIn for 2 years. Now imagine by the time I'll be 2 years, really,
You're gonna
where I'm
smash
going
it. Yes, that's lovely. You're crushing it, Dr. Cynthia. I had a question for you. So one thing
to.
what I've noticed is you are an example, Alex Hormozy, Gary V. I'm starting off at LinkedIn. It's just been like 3 months. But, I feel I just this thought has just come into my mind right now. I feel that people who are good at sales are good at LinkedIn as well. Do you agree with that? And do you think if you're good at sales, there could be some kind of similarities that can be taken into LinkedIn content creation as well?
Oh, you mean if you're good at sales, then you make it?
Yeah. No,
It's not
I
just
feel yeah.
um okay. It doesn't mean, there are people that have this perception that for you to
Yeah.
make it on LinkedIn, you need to be good in sales, but
Hmm.
it is not like that. I disagree.
Hmm.
And I'm going to give you good examples. One of my
Yeah.
clients in the 8-figure brand network is actually an introvert. He
Hmm.
doesn't even love LinkedIn. He doesn't love social media. So
Okay.
when he came and consulted me, he said, but I don't like social media. But I told him, you don't need to like social media, but you just need to have clarity. So it's not
Yeah.
about being good with sales, but it's about finding your niche. It's about
Hmm.
you finding that one person that you be speaking to. So an example is I speak to senior professionals. The person
Hmm.
I'm talking to only speaks to board members, but guess what? He only
Hmm.
comments about 20 comments every day. When you look at
Hmm.
his impressions are like maybe 8,000 commenting on 20 comments, and is already
Hmm.
receiving, opportunities is in DM. So you don't need to be an expert in sales, but you
Hmm.
just need to have clarity, meaning that you identify your ideal clients. It means that you don't talk to everybody, but you pick a niche and talk to that one person, and then you talk to them in different ways. So when you're creating your content, you should be teaching that one person. You should be showing a
Hmm.
framework to that one person. You should be showing your values to that one person. In short, show your clients that you are able to solve their problems. And by the way,
Hmm.
look at this. LinkedIn has only 1% of the people that are creating. 99%, they already have the money,
Hmm.
they are professionals, but they are consuming. So
Hmm.
that makes you, if you're just posting, once a week, it puts you in the 1%. So look
Hmm.
at how much leverage you have as an individual to build on LinkedIn.
Amazing. So the next question is a follow-up question, Dr. Cynthia. A lot of my audience who will be listening to this podcast or viewing this podcast are coaches, are marketing professionals, CEOs. So my question to you would be is how does a person know their niche or how can a person find their niche on LinkedIn?
Okay, great. So all of us have different, and this is something that, I love this question because with the CEOs, the consultants, and, the sales marketing professionals that I deal with, they want to say so much. So what I always say to them is there is, when you have done a lot, you need
Mm,
to pick a door. It's like a door. So for example, I told you I have 20 years of finance experience. Now, when you talk about finance, I have administration, I've dealt with grants management. There's so many things that I can do, but I had to pick one door that is going to
mm,
bring in those professionals. And remember that when you're on LinkedIn, there's a personal brand and a business brand. So I run a company called BHG, which is a business brand. That business brand has so many things. But with my personal brand, I have picked on personal branding with optionality for professionals. These same CEOs are the decision makers. So when they come and they're finding a way of building their brand on LinkedIn, they discover that I have a company that can give them other services. Now, you will note that my company actually has 4 other services that are not even related to personal branding, but I had to pick a door. So in short, it's about being very strategic, because the same CEOs that are coming have picked a niche that will be able to bring them as a door. But when they come inside the community, they realize that I have a company that can be able to train their executives, that can be able to train them in executive leadership. They can be able to consult. We can be able to train them manual and support them. So how you do it is, don't pick everything. Pick one little door. And that door should be something that you can talk about the whole year. I always ask this question to my clients to say, what can you talk about for 12 months without getting tired? Or what topics excite you within your niche? That's how you're going to find that little piece that you're going to be talking about every day.
That's amazing. That actually makes a lot of sense, and it's a great strategy. So yes, definitely, I can see that working very well. So, Dr. Cynthia, what patterns do you see in experts who struggle to monetize their LinkedIn?
So, number one is just the fear of showing up. The other day, I made a post that, people struggle. They are like, okay, how are people going to react? Especially with these senior professionals. You can imagine this is a CEO, and when they look at LinkedIn, they're like, LinkedIn is hard. How am I going to get people to like me if I post and then I have 5 comments, 5 likes? What about if nobody comments? Because LinkedIn is not like Facebook. It's not like these other platforms. So that fear, people overthink, and they're just like, what am I going to talk about? So people don't know where to start from. They have this fear of being unknown. And then most of the CEOs, when they come, they are like, I don't have the time. Today, I just posted about, having I always ask people to say, you don't have time. What about the time? How much time can you give LinkedIn? Some of them will be like maybe 45 minutes, 30 minutes. I'm like, that's enough. Because every day you can actually be writing on your notes. You have this phone that you write about how you sorted out a problem, you put it there. The next day you think of an idea where you went, the training that you did, you put it out there. So you find that maybe for 7 days, if you wrote something, you'll be able to have 7 topics, which means that the other week you can be able to have content to post even 3 times. From the 7, you still have 4 of the topics that you can post about. So it's overthinking, people are like overthinking. And then also, in the space of AI, people overuse, they want to go to AI and, use this generic, everybody is using AI, but AI cannot bring out your real experiences. So I always encourage the people that I deal with to say, look, don't overthink. Get an idea, put it down, then expand it. And you start posting. You can start posting twice. I have really real CEOs that come and I tell them, start posting once a week. Then when you feel confident, you go to twice a week. If you have enough time, you go to 3 times a week. But what is important is just you showing up at least. And also be active on other people's comment. I believe that no one can say, I don't have time, to comment on other topics that interest you. And I always tell my CEOs, you post once a week, but every day be able to make comments. 10 comments, leave them on somebody's post. That is you being visible, because on the comments, you're also showing how you think, the value that you are adding to that platform. And people will be able to look you up and DM you and say, I loved what you said. And that is where clients come in.
Exactly. Yes. I think that's where your main clients are hidden, more than in your network or more than people who are following you. Those won't buy from you initially. But people who see you as a thought leader, engaging on other people's comments, that's where the real gold mine is.
That's right.
Got it. So, Dr. Cynthia, I'd like to ask you, when suppose somebody is starting to build a LinkedIn profile, what should they focus on first? Building trust or creating engaging posts?
Okay. So what you should focus on is actually building trust. So
Hmm.
even before you start, let's say if I was starting today, the
Hmm.
basic minimum of things that I would do is first make sure that I have optimized my profile. Meaning at least I have a picture that shows me, and also I'm able to put my banner so that people know what I
Hmm.
can do for them. That's the
Hmm.
minimum basic. And then the about section, people go and view your profile. So put
Hmm.
up that, where have you worked? What can you do for them? If you're looking for a job, maybe you're looking for a job also, put up what you have done in the past that you can do for them in the future. That's the basic.
Hmm.
Then instead of me starting to post, what I would do is I would comment on other people's posts for a month. I didn't
Hmm.
start like that, but if I had to start and I
You would
don't
do
know
that.
what to say, this is what I would do. I would be
Hmm.
commenting now. I would be commenting on posts where I have interest.
Hmm.
So if I'm talking about personal branding, I'll look up people that are talking about personal branding and I will
Hmm.
add my thoughts. Now, why that is important is you want to be a thought leader. People want to
Hmm.
see, you want to build credibility. You want to show people that you know something in that
Hmm.
area of expertise. So that is why don't be sprayed. Don't just comment. That's why you find people commenting, this is insightful, this is
Hmm.
inspirational. It's just because you don't know what they are talking about. So you don't
Yeah.
have to be everywhere, but find the topics that interest you, the places
Hmm.
where you feel happy, places where you can be able to contribute. So if you're in
Hmm.
sales, if it's health, if it's
Hmm.
accounting, I'm able to comment a lot on accounting, on audit, on compliance, on
Hmm.
anything that has to do with NGOs because I have the expertise. But
Hmm.
because of what I'm building, you find me in places where people are talking about retirement, people are talking
Hmm.
about, optionality, people are talking about having multiple sources of income. You will find me there because that is my area of expertise and my interest.
That's interesting. So, Dr. Cynthia, if I had to find some content on a certain topic, is there any search trick or like how do I find the posts that are related to my niche?
That's on LinkedIn. Okay, so what you do is you look for keywords. So how do you look for keywords?
Hmm.
You have to go to the search button and you put a hash there. And then, for example, you say retirement or you say tax or you
Hmm.
say
Hmm. Hmm.
personal branding. And then
Hmm.
you search and you are going to see the people that are doing that. Now, I'll also
Hmm.
give you another trick. We are living in a world of AI. So you can
Hmm.
actually go to, some of these apps and just be able to search. I'm looking for people that are into this space. So
Hmm.
can you give me a list? So let's say you go to maybe Chat or Grok
Hmm.
or these others,
Hmm.
and they'll be able to give you. For me, I've been able to use that where I tell them who are talking about these topics, and it will bring me and I'll
Hmm.
follow them. And from there, I'll meet people that are in that space. Because, for example, people that are following me are people that want to build optionality. So if you're talking
Hmm.
about retirement, you find them in my niche. And I build a community. So you have to build a community because the more you go to those spaces, the more people will come to you.
That's amazing. Do you have this community on Facebook or on LinkedIn somewhere?
Okay, so what I did was I used to have a huge following on Facebook
Hmm.
and a
Okay.
huge following on TikTok. But I decided to leave and concentrate on one platform because I
Hmm.
saw
Hmm.
the money on LinkedIn. I saw the
Hmm.
possibilities on LinkedIn. So I literally
Hmm.
had to concentrate. I left Facebook and I left TikTok to build.
Hmm.
That is why I've been able, people are saying, how did you build so fast? It's because
Hmm.
I was able to concentrate on one platform. And even
Got
this
it.
year, I'm only concentrating on one platform because I have a threshold where I want to reach. At least by the end of the year, I should have 50 quality followers. And the next
Hmm.
year, I already have a system of how I'm going to scale to YouTube.
That's lovely. So, Dr. Cynthia, tell me, how has your experience been with AI? AI has revolutionized the way we work and it's changed everything so quickly in the past 6 months. So, how is your run been with AI and how do you use it for your own?
Okay, so we are living in that era where you can't do away with AI. AI is here to make it's a tool. It's a
Hmm.
tool and it's how you use it. So I have a preference myself that I'm a writer because, I've written a book and I write a lot and I'm a good writer. So most of my posts, I write them myself. So based on my experience, I use AI to search for ideas. So I mostly use AI I do a lot of research. My favorite tool is Chat GPT. I've even been able now to have my own GPT for seniors, that they can use. So I literally, sometimes I get so irritated on my post that people will come and comment with AI. The parts that I
Yeah, I've
don't
seen
like
that.
is that people are no longer thinking. Like literally, you can see
Yeah.
that this is AI, and people are posting, with they literally go and they just go and ask, they give it a prompt, and they just lift it. They don't even edit. They don't even add anything.
Yeah,
It's so generic.
I've seen
So
those.
you literally, for me, it's irritating because I know their
Yeah.
language. So most of the time when I am on LinkedIn, I'll be going through, and if I see this is AI, I just bypass it. But it also gives you an advantage because it's very easy to stand out. So most of the people come to my DM because they're like, I love your post. And something that is amazing, by the way, let me shock you. I have like almost 22 followers now, but my profile views are currently 1,000 in the last 90 days. 81,000. That means that people keep going back to view my profile. Now, I always tell my team to say, why is it that? Because of my thoughts. I don't use AI. I don't use AI experience. I use the experiences that I'm having every day and things that people want to hear, something that is my own, something that is not coming from AI will not think for me. So there are certain things that you can do to make me save time, to maybe amplify what I've written. It will help me with the grammar, but I will not allow
Yeah.
AI to think for me. So as much as AI is good and it gives us that leverage and it will save you time, it will give you, a lot of, maybe I use it for hooks, when I type, when I've written mine, I'll be like, okay, are you able to just organize it, the grammar and
Yeah.
everything, but do not change anything. Do not change my tone or anything. Then I'll ask maybe chat to say, what do you think about this hook? Can you give me variations of hooks? But I am not a person that will use AI to just say, write me about this. No, then I'm not going to stand out.
Absolutely.
That's why you see a lot of interactions, like with 20,000 followers, 21,000 followers. But my engagement, my impressions is crazy. It's because I come out very unique.
That's lovely. And yeah, to add to your point, I recently did a post and one person, he had automated his comments, I suppose. So he commented on the same post three times, three different,
Mhm.
but all AI language. And you can literally understand when you read the comment. When you've been in that space, you know that it's written by AI. So that is very embarrassing, I would say, for him. I had first-hand embarrassment. So yes, that is not the way to use AI. And even I use it the same way that you do. I will put in the
Mm.
content and I will tell AI to kind of optimize it or reword it as per LinkedIn language, maybe so it sounds a bit formal
Yeah.
because I can use some street language and slangs at time. So it helps
Mhm.
me keep it a bit structured. But yes, that's a good use of AI. So one problem, Dr. Cynthia, which many of us face is actually talking about sales or talking about or closing the deal without sounding too salesy. So, what should be the move when you're trying to sell someone or trying to convert a conversation into a sales pitch without sounding too salesy? How do you do that on LinkedIn?
Okay. So that's something, I love that question because I see a lot of DMs that people go to chat, people go
Yeah,
to AI and just say, give me a script. And it's quite
yeah,
irritating. And for me, I'm
mm,
too straight. So I just tell them, can you just be human? I'm like that. Maybe I sound rude, but in the
yeah,
DM, if somebody's coming, I just tell them, can you just be human? I'm a
mm,
professional in sales. So I know what you're trying to do, but just be human. But this is my advice
mm,
as somebody that is selling a lot. I'll tell you that the first thing that you should do when you go to somebody's DM is just, to be human. Just greet them, thank them for connecting with you. That is
mm,
all. You don't need to sell, have a conversation. Be human.
mm,
Ask them compliment them. Or I love the post that you did today. That was amazing. What I loved most is this point. Just be human. Or maybe compliment them about something. For example, you've seen a great profile. Just be able to tell them, I love your profile. What do you mean when you say this? Or I've seen we have
Mm,
something in common. You are in finance, I'm in finance. Could we
mm,
share experiences? You are just trying to be human, but you can't come to, in the DM and you are already selling,
yeah.
you just be human. I loved one. There's a guy that I told that I would literally buy from you because he literally went to search about the language that we speak in Zambia, and he came and
Mm,
greeted me in my language, and I really laughed, and I was like, "Have you been to Are you Zambian?" And he says, "No, thanks to I was able to search what you say." And we had that conversation, where we're exchanging. We're like, "Oh, okay. So how do you say this in your language?" And
mm,
maybe we talk a lot. Then after that, I'm the one who even says, "So I saw your profile. What do you sell?" So you
mm,
see, you should have a conversation, because of
yeah.
AI, it's removing your thinking. Everybody now
Yeah.
in the DM comes with questions, that are scripted, but I don't do that.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying that in this, as much as there's AI, you can stand out. In my case, everybody's using AI. I stand out because I just get, to be human. At
Yeah.
the time that I'm selling, I'm just telling them, oh, this is what I do. So
Mm,
I do this. Would you be interested? Just straight. I don't have to use all those gimmicks of, the scripts. They just put you off
yeah.
because look, everybody's doing it and everybody's
Mm,
seeing it. So the moment somebody sees it, then they're like, here we go again. But if you can be different and be human, then you're going to
yeah.
stand out.
Yes. And I think especially now on LinkedIn, where everybody's reaching out with a goal or a ulterior motive of sales or using AI to kind of automate it, it's very important to be human, as you said, just to highlight your point. I think that's missing. And people love that authentic connection now. And because of remote work, and it's so amazing that, you're in Zambia, I'm in India, and we can still connect. But that's what we want, the human connection and the human interaction.
Very true.
Yeah. So, Dr. Cynthia, it was amazing having you over on the podcast. And I know it's getting late, so I won't take more of your time. It was amazing having you. I hope you enjoyed the podcast as well. And
I
yeah, I
did.
hope you loved it.
Absolutely.
Lovely, lovely. Yes, it was great. And a lot of your answers will help me as well. And I'm sure my audience, who I know are very actively building their brand on LinkedIn, could learn a lot from this episode. So before I let you go, I'd like to ask you if someone is right now in the process of building their brand on LinkedIn and they're getting stuck, what would be your like one final message to them?
Okay. So number one is if you can manage to get a coach that can be able to help you, you can get a coach in that area. So there are so many coaches on LinkedIn, but look for somebody that can show you results because some people are
Mm,
just there and they will tell you that I can do that, but look for the result. Look for those that are
mm,
authentic. But also believe in yourself, find clarity, be consistent, and comment a lot. This is something that has grown my brand. That's my secret. If I have to tell you the secret that grew my brand, I would
mm,
comment. As I am commenting, as I am reading, consuming other people's, don't be in a hurry. So, first of all, don't
mm,
be in a hurry. Study those that have been successful. What have they done? And then you are writing. So, become a student first and then try to apply what you have learned from the people that have been successful in your own niche. And don't follow the trends, but begin your own trend. You know, something that I did and why I'm standing out because I didn't follow any trend. In fact, I was able to search to say who's doing what I'm doing. Right now, I am amplifying what I call the executive concentration risk. And then
mm,
I'm amplifying the optionality of 12 to 36 months. So I
mm,
literally went to search and I'm like, who is talking about that? And I didn't find anyone. Everybody's talking about personal branding. So I told
mm,
myself I'm going to stand out because of my background in finance. And then I understand the numbers. I understand the business. I have failed in business. I have made it in business. So I
mm,
literally got my skills and made something that is unique. So if you want to make it quickly on LinkedIn, it's about you being unique. So don't go into the trap of, oh, let me become that person. Let me become that person. No, be you because there are people that are looking for your authentic yourself. That is why I'm standing out in a short period of time. And that is why I'm on this podcast. If you didn't see value, we're not going to bring me here. But for you to bring me here, it's because you saw value in me. That's why I am here. So to everybody that is just starting out, be you, be patient with yourself, be consistent, learn, and get better every day. And you certainly make it.
Lovely, lovely, Dr. Cynthia. Thank you so much. That was some amazing advice at the end. I absolutely love it, and I couldn't agree more with you. Thank you for sharing these insights. And what if someone from my audience wants to work with you? Where should they reach you at?
Okay, so I am found on LinkedIn 24/7. They can just be able to find me. My name's on LinkedIn at Dr. Cynthia Kunda Simwaka. You can just be able to DM me and you'll be able to find me. I am very warm, so I'll certainly not ignore your message. I will certainly answer you and have a clarity call with you because for me, I pre-qualify. It's not everybody I want to work with, so I certainly pre-qualify. So I do a call with you so that you are able to see if I'm the right person that should be able to help you. And I'm working with consultants. In fact, I'm a specialist in management consulting and business consulting. Those are areas of my expertise. So for people that want to build their consulting from scratch, I'm the right person to come to. If you are somebody that is a professional and you want to have optionality in 12 to 36 months, I'm the right person to come to. And if you just want personal branding as well, I'm the person to come to. So they can reach me out on LinkedIn.
I'll drop the link to your profile as well in the post description so anybody can find you from there easily. So once again, thank you, Dr. Cynthia. It was lovely having you. And yes, I hope we can do this once again.
Thank you so much for having me here. I really enjoyed this.